Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Daily Fix. I am your usual host and presenter, Advocate Tudohoyani. Oh, things happen in the sense of MEYIWA trial. But it was a big day for Ntuli, accused number 5. Because at the end of it all, the court issued an order that Ntuli must be transferred from Kgosi Mampuru, where he is presently being housed, to local prison. It was an unprecedented decision by a judge in any court in South Africa. I've never seen anything like it. But you see, at the end of the day, it was good for Ntuli because Ntuli got what he wanted. But let me just sketch it all for you. You know, the process by which this decision has been arrived at is just off the rails. There was Judge Ratha sitting on the bench, conducting an inquiry without people even, taking an oath or anything of the sort. It was worse than like a village chief's, court. It was far worse than that. So he inquired into the circumstances surrounding, the movement of accused number 5 from the maximum prison to CMAX, and also heard from accused number 5, how these were false allegations because he had never had a cell phone in his possession, and that, he was simply being tortured because they wanted to substitute him with some other prisoner who was going to take his place and would then take the place of that prisoner at CMAX. You know how strange it can be. The logic was just not there. Judge Atamukwatlen just conducted the proceedings like a school headmaster and made that decision which went in Ntuli's favor. And for Ntuli, I'm happy for Ntuli, let me tell you, because at least what we have heard is happening to Ntuli will cease to be happening. Because for 2 consecutive days now, we saw the delays of, very long delays, put it that way, because there was this problem between Ntuli and the warriors at Kgosi Mampuru. The story goes deeper than that. Over the last 2 days, Ntuli has simply refused even to go to court as a way of protesting, his transfer to CMAX. So it has been a huge battle getting him to court. First, getting him out of his cell at Kgosi Mampuru, then getting him into those vehicles to ferry him to court, and he would then repeat the same thing when he gets to court, by refusing to get out of the vehicles, wherein then he would have to be manhandled and literally frog-marched into court. So that is how it was going. Judge Weta made that decision. There were 1 or 2 positive things that he said, in spite of this, mishmash of proceedings that we saw. He said, well, in the interests of this case proceeding, he's making this decision, which he does not have the power to make. Mark those words. He said he does not have the power to make the decision that he made. Now, Well, I could get into the issue of whether he has the power, but he does not have the power. But you must not mistake that to say that I'm saying he does not have the power, so he must not have, or should not have been released from or transferred from CMAX to Lugo. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying that kind of power that he does not have, and the judge considered that he does not have that power. And one wonders how, you exercise power that you don't have. He considered that he does not have that power because, let me just sketch it for you and say, where inmates are housed. It's a question of security, really. So this issue sort of, bypassed all those security issues. And I'm sure the Correctional Services people must be heartful with the decision. The decision is not sitting well with them. Because what are the implications of that decision? The implications of that decision are that courts can now interfere, in the day-to-day administration of an institution like Correctional Services, to the extent that courts now can say where inmates must be housed or incarcerated, and they do not have such powers. It was, I think it was excitement on the part of the judge, but it was positive excitement for Ntuli because, at the end of the day, I think Advocate Msholo is not too bothered about the process that got things where they are now. Because all she wanted to see was his, client, incarcerated in a humane manner without all the harassment that Ntuli was alleging is taking place at Kgosi Mampuru. So out of that bad process that I talked about yesterday, maybe something positive came out of it. But let us remember that the judge does not have that power. This matter should have been, tested in another way, should have been dealt with in another way, and characteristically, but he was not part of it. He just stayed out of it. He never made any opposition to any of what the judge was saying. He made no input at all. So the judge has made that decision that henceforth, accused number 5 will be housed at Lugo. But it was a poor decision because, the process and the procedure leading there is just, out of nowhere. It's out of nowhere. So such that, a procedure like that is dangerous. Taking a decision like that is dangerous because Correctional Services might well appeal this and have this, order reviewed because it has got serious implications for, the administration of correctional institutions in South Africa if judges are going to take matters this far. But that is a topic for another day. The real story of the day is Ntuli got what he wanted. The reasoning was poor. The procedure was, it was like a headmaster talking to his students. That is what Judge Atta looked like. But at the end of the day, I suppose from Shololo, it was a good day at the office. And for Ntuli, it was a big win. For Baloyi, it was 0 this time around. And for Correctional Services, it was -10. Having said that, let me thank you for watching this video and please have a wonderful, wonderful day.